don't shoot bad for a girl.
I try. I try.
Well, you know, I joke about that, but the truth of it is people, for some weird reason, if they don't know, they say those kind of things. You don't shoot bad for a girl, and there's really not much difference. It's, you're holding the gun, you're pulling the trigger.
And in many cases, women do better. They have a bit more endurance a lot of the time, and you're right.
Don't tell me that.
I know, I'm sorry.
Yeah, they probably concentrate better, too. Well, you're teaching women. Of course, you teach both men and women.
That's correct.
What kind of differences do you see?
Well, in general, as a lot of men say, women come into the shooting sports without a lot of bad habits, and they tend to take in everything that we tell them right away.
So you're not having to undo things.
Correct.
Okay.
Correct.
But one of the things I get, the questions on the radio all the time, is women say, well, I don't want a big gun. I like a small gun. And I think maybe they've been either misinformed or they just haven't been exposed right.
Definitely. What we find is, of course, as you know, the smaller the gun, the more the recoil. And so it doesn't necessarily mean that it's going to be better for a smaller statured person. Generally, we look at the objectives. If you're going to be carrying a gun, perhaps a smaller gun is what you're looking for. But if you're going to be training, practicing a lot, perhaps you want to move to a larger gun for those purposes, smaller gun for carry.
Okay, the thing I hear a lot is, I can't work the slide.
Yes.
I don't have the strength.
Yes.
Is it more technique than anything?
Absolutely.
Can you show me?
Absolutely. I'll show you right now. Now, this is a full-sized 45, 1911. Okay. All I'm going to do is bring it in close. I'm going to turn my body slightly so that I'm keeping the muzzle pointed downrange. I'm going to get a good, firm fist grasp on the rear of the slide, push forward with my right hand, my firing hand, pull back with my support hand, and here comes the slide. In this case, if I want to, I can dump the round, or I can do whatever I need to do next.
Okay, so you're bringing it in close, it's tight, you have the leverage that you need to work it all right there.
Correct.
Okay, so that's a matter of technique, and that's where the instruction comes in.
Yes.
Okay, go ahead and clear that thing. All right, now the other thing is, you're carrying a 45.
Yes.
You are not a big person. People say, well, that's way too much for a small person. But when you shoot it, I notice you don't get much muzzle rise.
Again, it's the technique. It's the training and the technique and the practice.
Show me. How do you keep that thing from getting out of control? What are you doing there?
Well, a lot of it is how I'm standing. I'm using as much of my full body as I can to manage the recoil. And a lot of it has to do with how I hold my upper body, particularly my arms. You'll notice that I've got push-pull, and my elbow, my support elbow is pointed down.
No reason women can't do that.
Absolutely not.
Okay. When you teach the women's class, you told me that they're a little bit different from an all men's class. What's different about that?
Well, first of all, of course, it's all women, the instructors and all the participants. We generally find people with different levels of experience coming in, but a lot of complete beginners. Guns out of the box. What's a magazine? Those types of questions. What's nice is everybody is there to help each other out and help each other to learn and progress.
Okay. And I suspect they're having a lot of fun doing this, too.
Well, it is kind of fun, and we would like to have a recorder sometimes in the shed. The conversations when we're filling magazines are interesting.
When I started shooting with my husband, that was okay, but I started getting some of my girlfriends involved in shooting, and it was a real bonding experience for us. A lot of women hadn't shot before, and they learned about the mechanics of a firearm, how it works, how the shot comes out, and we just have a great time together.
What's the mindset? I know some women come in and maybe they have been a victim of crime.
Yes.
How does it change them when they get training?
Well, one thing is that everybody feels as if she has just one more tool at her disposal. And that's really important, because then you feel like you've got something that you can control or help to control your environment with. You don't need to be the passive victim.
It really changes your confidence level. I sent my 2 daughters through gun sight when they were 18 and 19 years old, and they came out different women. They came out more mature, more confident. Their grades went up in college. It was fantastic.
Okay, so a matter of control and basically just being a little bit more self-assured, having the tools, having what you need.
Yes,
to
and
deal with these things.
We talk a lot about mindset and awareness, and we try to just bump that up a little bit and help people through their daily lives. Buying
a gun, going to a store, there's a decent chance you're going to get some bad advice. You talk about having a gun fit. What's that?
You know, I tell all of my friends, men and women, but especially the women, guns are like shoes. They need to fit you properly. And they can be fit properly. You don't have to settle for off the rack or right out of the box.
So you go, you try them out. You need to shoot some guns and try them.
Definitely. And if you can shoot a variety at one time, that would be great for comparison. But even if you're only able to do one on one day and another on another day, that'll still give you a good feel for the guns.
Okay. Well, I know a lot of women are considering buying a gun. Same things apply. Get some good instruction. Don't go cheap when you're buying a firearm. This is a life-saving device.
Absolutely.
You definitely need to do this. The police can't always be there. Everyone thinks if they call 911 they're going to be okay, or if they call a cell phone they're going to be fine. But that's not true. In many places, women are 40 miles from town and their car might break down on the side of the road. If you have a firearm, you have protection.
All right. Well, thanks, Elaine. Really appreciate it.
My pleasure.